About him is he's, what, 24, 25 years of age already. There's not a question right now. It'd be a question 4 or 5 years from now when he'll already be 30-year-old running back. But he is one great physical specimen at running back, and I got to think Tampa Bay comes away with him in one of these 2 picks. Here's their first pick, 12th pick overall. Let's go to the commissioner. Hey, Tampa Bay, the Bucs are going to shine. Turning things around with Tony Dungy. They're on their way, I believe.
With the 12th pick in the first round, Tampa Bay selects Warrick Dunn, running back, Florida State.
Well, Joe, they obviously feel
the Houston Oilers are now on the clock.
Well, I think Andrea put it very well, Chris. What you're looking at, you look at potential in some people. You know, you got potential in Yatil Green and a little bit of production. He's been nicked a lot, hasn't played a lot of football at the college level. But when Warrick Dunn, I mean, Bobby Bowden took this young man under his wing, had a very difficult time losing his mom, who was a police officer. And really, this kid has seen hard times, hard-working, wonderful young man, a perfect kind of a character individual for Tony Dungy, but also a terrific opportunity for somebody to get the football to for Trent Dilfer. And that's what Tony wants to do. He wants to surround his quarterback with people who can make plays.
Is this not a questionable bit, because let's face it, Warrick Dunn's one of our favorite players in the draft. There's no question about that. There are little guys that can block. I mean, Emmitt Smith's a little bit bigger than Warrick Dunn. He's an excellent blocker. Walter Payton could block. He's smaller than that, but do you have questions there?
No, I think this is a great pick for Tampa Bay. They need weapons. They need all-purpose creativity, and I think you're talking about a guy who can catch the ball like a wide receiver, Chris, down the field. What he's not is a return man. He only had 4 kickoff returns as a true freshman, nothing the rest of his career. If he can expand his game a little bit and be a return man, he can add to his value a little bit. Having Rhett, having Allstott, now you can feature in a guy who you can flank out. You give defensive coordinators a headache trying to prepare for this offense, especially knowing that you'll have to have a 16th pick coming up.
I think, Joe, a word you mentioned is production. 38 touchdowns in a college career for a diminutive back. 7.5 yards a carry as a year ago, 1995. I would say that's production. Let's go up to Chris Fowler and company.
Thank you. I'm with Mike Godfrey. We've seen Warrick Dunn a lot over the last 4 years. Bobby Bowden called him the favorite player he's ever coached. A quiet guy, but a guy who could be a leader in the huddle when it was required, when the chips were down, and also a guy who saved his best games for the big games. He got more carries, he got more catches against the Floridas and the Miamis, Mike.
Well, your team's better because of his character when he enters the locker room. He's not just a third down back. He has great change of direction. Here he gets against the flow of the linebackers. You see him going for the touchdown. I think Jerry Angelo and Tony Dungy have a great pick on their hands with Warrick Dunn. He has great quickness here in the shotgun and acceleration when he gets the ball. See him accelerate into the secondary and run away from people, and he has a toughness, and he has a feel of defenders. Pass blocking's not a problem. Barry Sanders is only 5'8". 200 pounds. Here's a good block. He takes a lot of pride in his pass blocking. Here's the hidden value. A running back that can go downfield and make catches downfield. He has soft hands, Chris. I think this is a great football player that I've followed for the years here at ESPN, and I think it's a great choice by Tampa Bay.
You made the comparison to Barry Sanders, but he was a lot heavier, let's be fair, than Warrick Dunn is coming out of college at less than 180 pounds. But you say an every down back, he can block the pass rush if he has to?
He's an every down back, and let's go back to the Super Bowl with Desmond Howard was the most valuable player in the Super Bowl returning kicks. Warrick Dunn can return kicks for you also. You got a package here. This Tampa Bay is going to be very happy with him.
We'll see if Tony Dungy is happy. He's with Andrea Kramer down at the Buccaneer headquarters. Andrea?
That's right, Chris. It's the main guy that we care matters if he likes Warrick Dunn, and no question, he is a Dungy guy. Why Warrick Dunn?
Well, as you mentioned, you know, we need points, and this guy probably can put points on the board as well as anybody we felt in the draft, and we're excited about the different ways we'll be able to use him, get him the ball, and give our offense some big plays.
What are the different ways you can use him? Because one would think it might be just as a third down back.
Well, I don't think so. I think he has the ability to return kicks and get the ball that way. He can also play some on first down when you want to throw the ball, and we don't preclude him running the ball on first down. He's a tough guy.
Boy, last year you drafted Mike Allstott, and I said, was that a message to Eric Rhett? Now you're drafting Warrick Dunn. Is this a message to Eric Rhett, who, once again, wants to redo his contract?
No, it's not a message to Eric at all. We're happy with him, and he's been here working out. We got Warrick for his ability to put the ball in the end zone, and that's what we feel good about.
Is the size a concern?
Not really. You know, you obviously like bigger guys, but he's been tough. He's run the ball against great competition, and he's had his best games in the big games, and that's what you like.
So if you stay at 16, and actually, have you had some calls about the 16th pick?
We really have. We've had quite a few people calling about that pick. We're not sure what we're going to do, but we are entertaining calls right now.
And if he stays at 16, I think they could look for more points to be scored, more offensive weapons. Right now, let's go to Chris Fowler in the studio.
Andrea, a couple of wide receivers watching this draft, Utiel Green and Ray Caruth. Tampa certainly had been interested in both of them in conversations. Those guys sweating because they've slid a little bit. Will they go at number 16? 12 picks down, 228 to go. Not all of them today, but the Houston Oilers are up next as we continue our draft coverage right after this.
It now appears that Shaq is suffering from a neck injury.
Of course we're concerned. That's one valuable neck.
Shaq is suffering from taco neck syndrome, TNS. It's caused by his craving for delicious Taco Bell tacos. And he's getting worse with every neck-bending bite.
There's nothing funny about TNS.
It's not natural.
It's a conspiracy, man.
Get some more of those tacos.
Australia's Great Barrier Reef. You don't need fins to swim under it. You don't need wings to fly over it. You don't need 4 legs to run through it. But you just might need to bring this. Because Reef Watch Air Tours, Wild Track Jeep Safaris, and Pro Sail Schooners will take you on the ride of your life. But they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Mercury Mountaineer. With available all-wheel drive, standard V8 power, and the kind of comfort you'd expect only in a Mercury. It's the perfect go-anywhere, do-anything vehicle, even if all you're doing is just running out for a few groceries. The 1997 Mercury Mountaineer.
Back in New York at the 62nd annual NFL Draft, the Houston Oilers, Love You Blue on the clock, and a historic game on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball Sunday evening. Maybe not quite on the rank of the Jackie Robinson game we had this week, but baseball, Major League Baseball, to Hawaii for the first time. The stadium that Joe, you and I, and Tommy got to know quite well. That's right. The frozen tundra of Aloha Stadium. It's the Cardinals and the Padres. Padres home game. They play a game there today, then 2 tomorrow. That's the first of a double dip on Sunday. 8 Eastern, 5 on the West Coast, 2 local time in Hawaii. So it's Luau Sunday for us here on Sunday Night Baseball. Well, just talking about Hawaii makes me happy.
I know.
You know?
You get a gleam about it.
It's just, well, I mean, I have to go back and see my constituency. Speaking of constituency, Houston Oilers on the clock. Houston or Memphis or Nashville with the Tennessee Tuxedos? We're going to ask the commissioner about that later. What are you thinking? What a job Jeff Fisher did in kind of absentee coaching last year.
I think Jeff Fisher, you talk about a coaching job, just keeping your football team focused when nobody shows up in the football stadium where you're playing. You don't know what to call home. You don't know whether you have to ship something. You know, there's so much uncertainty that goes into that part of the game. Jeff did a great job of having his football team focus on what happened on the field. Chris Chandler is gone. The Houston Oilers now belong to Steve McNair. And when you take a look at his numbers, the thing that I'm most impressed with are 2 elements of this statistic. First of all, his 58% completion ratio. I think Jerry Rome, the offensive coach there and coordinator, and quarterback coach, did a terrific job with him, teaching him where to go with the football. He posted some good numbers because he also had Eddie George for help. But his touchdown to interception ratio was 7 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. Now, if you're going to add to this, Les Steckel takes over as the offensive coordinator. What you want to do in addition to that offense, because you've got Chris Sanders, you've got some other people there that you need to get the ball to, you go out and get yourself a wide receiver. I think a Yatil Green right here for the Houston Oilers makes an awful